Hi, Dr. Patrick Gentempo here, and thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel. We have great content in store for you. I'm so excited to be here with you, and let's jump right into it. Now, with being in it and actually not just abstractly, but having your own money in it, what's your big picture view now about it?
Yeah, it makes me think back to a time where, like, say we could go back to when the dollar was first created, which it really didn't get mainstream adoption until the early 1700s, late 1600s. But imagine if you and I were in a back room somewhere having a conversation with the creators of the dollar, and they're saying, okay, listen, this is our plan. This is our scheme, if you will, right? We're going to get all these people to accept this type of paper with these funny faces on it. It went through the exact same phase. This is literally history repeating itself. There's some differences, which I can't wait to, pick apart with you here. But this was a financial revolution, the likes of which we haven't really seen to this magnitude since the 1700s. And so I see that happening again now, but I also see some of the ways which technology was limited up until recently that didn't allow us to do certain things that we now can do. And then when you dial up the political climate, when you dial up some of these other issues, both things that are like black swan events, like a coronavirus, but just in general, there seems to be, I don't want to get too geeky too early, but there's a law of thermodynamics. It's the law of entropy, which says a system will break down over time unless acted upon by some outside force to counteract its natural form of decay. And I believe that the traditional financial institutions are at that stage. And I have very compelling evidence to try to prove that case, where they've broken down to the point where they can't be repaired. And there's another saying that says the best way to fix a system is to build a new one that makes the old one obsolete, right? I'm paraphrasing here.
Sure.
And I think that's what this represents. And we're on the ground floor now in a particular area of timing that couldn't be better, because if you look at adoption and innovation, it has multiple stages. The first stage is the speculation stage. Will it hit? Won't it hit? I don't like playing speculation, and the richer I get, the less I like it, believe it or not. And then there is the third stage, which is mainstream adoption. It's the second stage that matters the most, where you cross the chasm, so to speak. And that's where things are either made or broken. And I think we're in that phase where it's now proven itself on the ground floor. Everybody's aware of it. It's undeniable. But it's just a matter of who's making the right decisions with it today. So when it becomes mainstream accepted tomorrow, like in the distant tomorrow, you are best positioned to benefit from it yourselves. And I think Pat too, and I'm giving you so much to unpack here, so forgive me if you will.
That's
please.
great.
But
Yeah.
I think people only focus just on the monetary aspect or the financial aspect of cryptocurrency, which is great. I mean, money kind of makes the world go round, but I think there's an even bigger play when we get into the blockchain. I think the finances is one part of a bigger picture of a complete revolution of the human condition and the experience of it. And so for that reason, what we're doing here is we're getting rich, investing in the technologies that tomorrow will create a whole new way of being, that once we have it, we'll never go back to the old way again. So isn't it wonderful to get paid to help usher in a better way of being? And that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, I like the distinction you're making between blockchain and crypto, looking at the technology, because blockchain has many applications outside of just, these coins. I mean, it can be used
Yep.
for a lot of things and can have an impact on the world. So do you observe the relationship between the two, as far as saying, that, this blockchain technology is something that, can take some people who have real authority in these arenas say that blockchain will change the world more than the internet did.
Agreed.
And then you see that when you're investing in these coins, that you're kind of investing in blockchain by proxy in a sense. So how do you kind of view all that?
Yeah, so let's take a step back to ground floor level. Okay, everybody and their brother right now is in crypto, and it's the invisible thing. Nobody realizes how everybody's in it. It's almost like nobody really wants to tell other people they own crypto. But the Nasdaq published their report earlier this year that said 14% of Americans over the age of 18 own crypto in some way, shape, or form. They hold some sort of token or currency. It's gotten bigger though. It's now 17%.
Wow.
But here's the other part of the research that's been done is over 38% of Americans are planning on or considering purchasing crypto in the next 12 months. And the market penetration of adopting this new form of currency is skyrocketing. And by the way, it's like an avalanche. An avalanche doesn't linearly grow bigger, right? It kind of goes small, and then boom, it's all at once. Tipping point. So we're very quickly marching into a tipping point that has been hyper accelerated due to things like the coronavirus. So it's coming even faster than the fastest predictors predicted it to be. And so we have this tipping point that's hitting. I'll give you another statistic. 1 in 4 Robinhood users, people that use that Robinhood, casino style investing app, right? They have bought crypto, which is sad because they don't even realize they don't own the crypto that they purchased. So there's a lot of people right now buying crypto purely based on the technical analysis of, we know it's the future. I don't want to miss out on the future, so I better buy some, which is awesome, but it's scary when people are making decisions, not knowing what they're buying, not understanding the bigger picture, yet it's still so powerful that they know they have to buy it anyway. And so for me, there's opportunity there. First of all, I feel it an obligation and a duty to empower those around me, because it breaks my heart when people are getting into the crypto world in all the wrong ways that are easily avoidable and preventable, but they just don't know what they don't know. And so better to be in than not in at all. But there's a lot of ways that you can go wrong in crypto that are not hard to avoid. But when you're just like, I gotta be in, you're not making necessarily sound decisions. You're not making fully informed decisions. So that's kind of like repeating the same mistake twice. You want to get away from the financial institutions that exist right now because they're playing a rigged game with your money. I mean, that's not a conspiracy. That's very easy to predict when, these financial institutions are paying $20 billion in fines over the last decade, and their stock's going up as a result. We call that a fixed game. So you're like, I want to get away from that institution. But then you're using the same paradigm of decision making to go into another institution in crypto world that's still like the old institution. So we want to avoid that. So I feel it's a moral obligation to empower other people around me that I care about or that I can reach, to help them understand more on the better ways to get into crypto. But then again, to your point, crypto is a smaller portion. It is a byproduct of the blockchain, which is disrupting all sorts of industries, or will soon disrupt all sorts of industries, just like crypto is disrupting the financial industry. And so I think that's very important for people to know what they're buying. Here's an example. It's obvious I love art. You only see 2 pieces of many that surround me, but I'm surrounded by art. I love art. Art to me has intrinsic value. I just look at it and I feel good about what I see. It also is a fantastic financial investment over the years. Art has been an absolutely sound financial investment, but art is controlled by the elitist, the old money world. And art is kind of irrational in the way that it is kind of controlled by the gatekeepers of what is and what isn't art. And that's been massively disrupted by these things called NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And you can't turn around, if you're looking at crypto at all, you can't turn around and hear yet a story after story of some 12-year-old kid makes this weird whale pixelated piece of art and it made $160,000 of it. Like, this is a legitimate story. I'm seeing these all the time. And people are scratching their heads. They're like, oh my God, this NFTs, everybody and their brother seems to be getting rich off NFTs. Well, guess what? NFTs, you don't have to create your own. You can invest in the companies that power the most powerful marketplaces of NFTs in the art world, which is completely revolutionizing the art world. So I think, Patrick, a lot of people are making the disconnection here. They get, if I buy Apple stock, I own a share of Apple, I help capitalize Apple so it can continue to innovate, right? But they make the disconnect that I can invest in the marketplaces of NFTs just like I would a stock. and I'm able to bring the future of art, which it is, to the present sooner by capitalizing these companies. And I'm able to get rich doing it, just like you would if you were to buy Apple. And furthermore, it doesn't have the trappings that a traditional stock market investment would have. It doesn't have all these centralized players who have regulated the game and drew up the rule book and gave you one rule book and gave themselves another rule book to play with. It's much more democratized. It is much more fair than anything I've ever seen, which then allows us to use information to our advantage. And that kind of, when you have a level playing field and the only difference is the information as a key difference, then all of us have the capabilities to completely turn our situation around or to empower ourselves. Whereas before, it's kind of like, man, maybe if I work out really hard to climb that ladder, maybe I study all the ladder climbing techniques in the world, but if some guy's at the top and can kick that ladder off the building at any point in time, how good of a ladder climber do I have to be to counteract that? The answer is I can't, right? And so I see the opportunities now for many people that previously were non-existent unless you went to the same Ivy League with the brother or the banker who could cut you in on a sweetheart deal, that kind of stuff.
Thanks so much for being here and watching that video. And can I ask you to please subscribe to our channel so you can find out when we're posting new content. You'll be alerted right away when we do. To share this with people you think might benefit from the information. And certainly it helps us if you like the video. So if you like what you just saw, go ahead and hit that like button. And again, thank you so much for being here with me right now.